Pleasure to talk to you about this film. I thought it was very moving to see those people and their survival story, basically. So for you, what is usually the ratio between it being just a movie, because obviously it's a film and not a documentary?
Well, like we're it's based on a true story. We want to make it as accurate as possible. Just taking certain liberties because we're condensing something that happened over, God, I don't know how many hours, and condensing it into a 2-hour story. But we want to capture the essence of the people, the situation, and still make it engaging for the audience and as informative as possible.
This is, at its core, a real family man who's very motivated by the presence of his family for his survival. How much do you relate to that kind of character?
110%. Everything that I do. I mean, I love my job and I'm extremely passionate about it. But I still feel like at the end of the day, I'm a husband and a father going out there to provide for my family and create a better life. And so that's the biggest downside of my job, is being apart from my family.
No, absolutely.
My biggest motivator is getting home to my wife and my children.
I totally relate to that. Yeah. Those kinds of sets are really huge and daunting. So how enjoyable are they, or how challenging is it to be on a big set with a lot of visual effects and action?
It's challenging more than anything because you're on a giant rig in the middle of a parking lot in Louisiana in the summertime, in August, when it's extremely hot, and then it's hurricane season, and you're on a big steel platform. So it's challenging, but that's the way to make it as accurate and realistic as possible and make the audience feel like they're actually there. So I think there were probably things that we could have done that made our lives a little bit easier, but I don't think anything would have made it more realistic.
How much physical training are we talking about?
None. For me, obviously, I had never been on an oil rig before, and I like to know what I'm doing, so I went to rig school and spent a lot of time with Mike. He was basically my kind of guide and tutor and teacher about everything that had to do with operating in and around the rig. But physical preparation, Pete wanted to be as heavy as possible, so I was just eating as much fried food in Louisiana as I could. Which
is usually very good and deeply fried, as I hear.
Good for a couple of weeks, but then becomes painful.
Yeah. This was a very documented news story. How much did you know about it before, and how much did you learn from participating in this film?
I kind of knew, like everybody else, that it was the largest man-made natural disaster, and obviously there was I knew about the effects that it had on the marine life and the environment, but not so much about the loss of life and the 11 people that died on the rig.
And finally, would you say you have a ritual to accept a role, or does it have to be quite an organic decision?
No, it has to happen organically, but we want it to be a good piece of material with a good, talented filmmaker. We're looking for quality.